Hi everyone, I'm Vanessa S. of By Vanessa S. and welcome to my channel. And if you've been here before, welcome back to my channel. Today we are taking a deep dive into a tool that every maker, sewist, and crafter absolutely needs: scissors. But not just any scissors. I'm going to walk you through my personal collection and show you what each pair is for and how I use them, and why it makes a difference in your projects. Whether you're cutting fabric, trimming threads, or tackling heavy-duty materials, having the right cutting tool can save you time, energy, and frustration. And trust me when I say this collection came over time, and these are my absolute go-tos. So before I get started, remember how this goes. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos and sewing, crafting, and more as they are released. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So let's start with the one that we all know and love, the general crafting scissor. And this one is just for general crafting. You can use it for paper, you can use it for plastic, whatever you're just going to use it for. These are the ones that I just have. I have several around the house in drawers, in my kitchen drawer. You can use it for pretty much anything you want. This is not necessarily a sewing scissor because it's not really sharp and it doesn't have precision. It's just really a general use. And if you use it with paper, you don't want to try to cut fabric because we all know that paper will dull your scissors. Next up are these dressmaking shears. And this one has a cover, which I really love. And these are very sharp and they don't dull very easily. Now the dressmaking shears are used for cutting fabric cleanly and accurately. The angled, I don't know if you can see that, the angled handle lets the lower blade stay flush with your table for smooth cutting. And then it has long cuts so that it can cut through multiple layers. Okay, so see this elongated here. And so it's designed to cut through multiple layers. This is really best for woven fabrics, garment sewing, and precision type cutting. It's really good for, let me show you, if I wanted to get into a corner. It's really good for that, like just getting into a corner for precision cutting, for that type cutting. Okay. Next up, you always want to put your shears back. Next up is the pinking shears. You'll know the pinking shears by these ruffled edge blades. Now the pinking shears cuts a zigzag pattern, and these are good for finishing off a raw fabric or like a silky fabric. Now you see how this fabric here has these little frayed edges? Pinking shears help to alleviate that, because when it cuts with the zigzag, with these edges, so that you don't have the fraying like that. Next up is the precision detail scissors. Now this is a titanium non-stick scissor, which means that if you use it for things like appliques or something that has glue or gum on it, it's not going to stick on it because it's titanium. These are precision. You mostly see these used by embroiderers or people who do make quilting and embroidery. They're small, they're very sharp blades. They get into tight corners like that. And then they make detailed cuts. They have non-stick coating, and they prevent the buildup of adhesives. These are best for things like appliques, cuffing fusible webs, vinyl, and tape. And it's a pretty color. You can get them in any color. Then we have these embroidery thread snips, right? And it's just for that. Like if you're working on sewing and then you just need to snip something, snip a thread or something, that's what these are good for. They're small, they have fine blades, they're ideal for trimming threads and working on intricate needlework, and they're best for snipping, embroidery, and hand sewing. Just that quick. Now, me personally, I keep these when I'm sewing on my sewing machine. This is the scissor that I have right next to my sewing machine. So especially when I'm using my serger, because when you use your serger, you know, you have to have a chain, and this helps to cut the chain, or this helps to cut the thread. So this is what I have next to my sewing machine when I am sewing. But I also have it when I'm doing any type of hand stitching, especially if I am base stitching or something like that. This is my go-to. Then we have this big boy here. Now this is one of my favorites, especially as it relates to cutting thick fabrics or cutting fabrics like knits or wools or something like this. This is called a heavy duty shear, and you can tell it because it has a rainbow blade. This is all purpose, and it has a straight edge with a titanium or rainbow anodized, which mine is rainbow anodized coating. This is designed for cleanly cutting through multiple layers of thick fabric, denim, canvas, leather, upholstery, interface materials, anything like that. It's best for projects that involve dense or layered materials. They stay sharper longer due to the coated blades, and they're known for their precision and their durability. Okay? Like I said, these are my big boys. they're heavy duty. These are the ones I use for if I'm cutting denim. When I was making bags, I used it a lot for the canvas because I use a lot of canvas material. I would use these. Now let's get into the rotary blades. Rotary cutters are one of the most essential tools in sewing and crafting, especially for clean, precise cuts through fabric, interfacing, batting, and paper. But not all rotary cutters are the same. So this small rotary cutter, notice I have it marked fabric. These can be used for, all rotary cutters can be used for fabric or paper, or any kind of fabric really, or any kind of material, but you want to make sure you mark them whether you're using it for paper or for fabric or other materials, because once you use them on paper, the blade gets dull, just like a scissor, okay? So they come in different sizes. This one is like an 18, this one is a 60 millimeter, these are 45. And they have all have different features. Like this one has a slide safety, whereas this one has a punch safety. Push it, pull it back like that. This one has something similar, has a button. So you have to click the button in order to release it. Then on the other side, click the button. And then to change them, you normally have like a screw here, and you just unscrew it and the blade will come off. And then this is what the other blades look like. You have to be careful. I would normally have on some gloves, some cut through gloves when I'm changing the blade, because there's no safety around it. There's nothing to keep it from cutting you. And so you have to be very, very careful. Now it does come in a case, but even when taking out the case, you can take the blade off and then just kind of flip it that way. But it's always safer to just have something on your hands. So if you're thinking about using rotary cutters, I recommend starting with the 45mm, because this size, regardless of what style, is general. It's like an all-purpose scissor, and it's versatile. But, oh, and the other thing is, when you're cutting with one of these, you want a self-healing mat, a cutting mat, right? Something that you can cut on, because it will cut through whatever it is. It will cut through. And so if you have a self-healing cutting mat, you can just cut right on it with no problems, and you're not going to hurt the mat, because that's what it's made for, cutting. So if you're thinking about using rotary, rotaries are really good. I really love them, especially for precision type things. To me, I find that it's easier than a scissor, especially when I'm cutting something like a pattern or cutting a pattern piece out. I really like using them, and then I will follow up with a scissor. Now this is a handy dandy scissor. This is your scissor sharpener. And what you would do is just take your scissor. You see that it has these two openings. You put one blade on the top, one on the bottom, and you just do like this, like you're cutting. Sorry for the sound. But that's how you would sharpen your scissors, with this. And they're not very expensive. And then afterwards, you just want to cut something just to get the residue off of it. Or you can just wipe it down with a paper towel or something. And then there you have it. Now let's talk about one of my favorite time-saving tools, and that's the electric scissors. I use this one, the Black & Decker. There's plenty out there, but this is just the one that I use. It's cordless, and most of them are cordless. You have to charge them. But what makes this easy to use, and one of my favorites, is because if you have arthritis or issues with your hand, or you just need a little bit more assistance with the cutting process, an electric scissor will help with that. Now, the downside to an electric scissor is that it's loud. Okay, it's really loud. And so what I do is I will put on my headset and listen to some music while I am cutting. Most of them have a safety feature, and most of them have two blades. Now, this blade that's on it is for light cutting, light and mid-weight cutting, not heavy cutting. But then there's this other blade that is a deep cutting blade, right? So for thicker, so if you have like thick fabrics or several layers of denim or several layers of wool or something like that, you would use this one. And then for regular, normal cutting, you would use this one. This, like I said, as far as assistance with cutting, this helps a lot. Especially, it's a relief for your hands. It helps with wrist strain. It helps with arthritis. And to be honest, it just helps. Okay, and that wraps up my scissor collection. I hope this gave you a better understanding of which tools might be right for your own projects, especially if you are embarking upon sewing. Whether you're just starting out or building your toolkit, the right pair of scissors really does make all the difference in the world. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, drop a comment below to let me know which scissors you use most or which ones you want to try. And don't forget to subscribe for more creative content, tips, and tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.